Hello, guys. How we doing this afternoon? We got another prediction for you for tonight's game, the Monday Night Football game, where the Green Bay Packers go to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Green Bay Packers are second in the NFC North, and the Raiders are third in the AFC West. Packers are 2-2, Raiders are 1-3. I have a feeling that even though these teams have not had the greatest luck this season, uh, the only two wins that the Packers got are against the Bears and the Saints. And the Saints they only beat by 1 point. So the Bears isn't really a special win. And over there on the Raiders side, the only win that they got is the Broncos. Bills, Steelers, Chargers, every single one of those games they lost. And they were only able to put up a couple of touchdowns. Over on the Green Bay side, we have Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon, and Romeo Dobbs. Dubes. My bad, everybody. It's just going to take a little bit to get the pronunciation and whatnot down. But again, I'm just a guy saying how I feel. I mean, most of it's saying how I feel. Uh, Jordan Love, I do give you guys the facts and the numbers as well. Jordan Love, 74 for 132, 901 yards, 8 interceptions, and 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the year. A.J. Dillon, 44 carries, 118 yards on those. Doesn't have a touchdown yet on the year. Romeo Dubes, 20 catches, 224 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, not too bad for Dubes. And then on the Raiders side, you got Jimmy G, Josh Jacobs, and Devontae Adams that are your leaders on the year. Jimmy G is 64 for 94, 709 yards, 5 tutties, 6 interceptions. Josh Jacobs, 62 carries, 166 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs isn't having that great of a season this year in the 2023 campaign. Devontae Adams, 33 catches for 397 yards and 3 tutties. So Devontae Adams is actually starting to do well with Jimmy G. On the year, for the offensive side on the Packers, they're ranked 27th for offense and offensive yards gained, and the Raiders are 26th for offensive yards gained. ESPN has the Packers winning this. They've got the matchup at 55%. Over on the Packers defensive side, the total yards allowed, they're tied for the 21st, and then on the Raiders side, they're 18th. 1,346 yards total yards allowed for the Raiders, 1,410 total yards allowed for the Packers. So they're not too far off. It looks like we got good passing defenses with poor rushing defenses. Both have allowed a lot of points. The only difference is that the turnover differential for the Raiders is -9. For the Packers, it is +1, and the Packers do have a pick six, so they have some defensive points. Packers, they've got 24 special teams points. Raiders, they've got 18 special teams points. Both teams got a couple of field goals and are perfect for extra points. In my opinion, Raiders are at home, but I think the Packers might take this. Dubes has been showing great production. Jordan Love didn't have that great of a game against the Lions in that defense, but they might be middle of the road. There's 811 passing yards allowed on the Raiders side. So sitting there and thinking of that with the better part of the Packers offense being their passing game, their rushing game hasn't been there at all. Even if they get behind, they're probably going to pass. The Packers have 8 receiving touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. Raiders have 5 receiving touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. So both teams are heavy on the pass. Both teams are good at passing defense. So it might not be the most exciting matchup, but we're going to have a pretty hard fought matchup here in Las Vegas. Max Crosby's one of the key factors of this game. As usual, you can't rule out Money Max. Especially in that pass rush. It's just so good. ESPN's bold prediction has Green Bay Romeo Doubs will have a better stat line than Adams if Adams plays. That's another thing, is our injuries. Let me get over here so I can update you guys and give you an updated injury report. I still don't get that. Like, I'm at the same volume. I've got my soundboard at the same volume. But if it seems like it says that it's coming through quieter now. Yeah, I need a haircut. Until I get a haircut, we are going to be wearing hats. Scores. Packers Raiders Gamecast. All right. For the Green Bay Packers, Devondre Campbell and Zane Anderson are officially out. Jair Alexander and Aaron Jones, they are questionable. So those are going to be game time decisions, I'm assuming. Over on the Raiders side, Nate Hobbs is officially ruled out. Jacorian Bennett, Marcus Epps, and Devontae Adams are all questionable. Let's pull up Devontae Adams to get a little bit more on that. 5 hours ago, Adams is expected to suit up for Monday's matchup against the Packers. That is via Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. That man says that Adams is going, so I believe Adams is going to be going. But I'll agree with that there's going to be a better stat line than Adams for Romeo Doubs. There's been a connection there. I know the better connection is Watson, and Watson is back and healthy now. But there's always that factor of defenses giving extra attention to Watson and then Doubs being open, or vice versa. Who knows? Tonight, that passing defense, again, 811 yards allowed for the Raiders, 789 yards allowed for the Packers. And then you go over, the Raiders have 866 passing yards on the year, and the Packers have 825. The score for this game, I'd probably give it a low scoring affair. But honestly, my gut has been a little bit off these recent weeks. We'll go ahead. I'm not going to do the touchdown expectation or anything. I'm just I probably will say it out loud, but I'm not really going to hold myself accountable to the exact amount of touchdowns. I'm just saying it for math purposes. So yeah, give Doubs 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones is back. Give him one. Either him or A.J. Dillon. That'd be 21. So 24 for the Packers. Devontae and Josh get a touchdown and a field goal for them. $24-17. That's the math. Had to do the math a little bit on there. Neither team's gotten close to a safety. There's been a pick six this year, but I don't. Maybe there is. But yeah, let's throw in a pick six there. throw in a pick six, so I had 27 plus 7, 34. And then the Packers are going to be 17. Oh, not 20, not 27, 17. All right, there we go. 34, or Jesus Christ, I got it the other way around. What a miraculous way for everything to go in shambles. 34 for the Packers, 17 for the Raiders. Because that's another thing that Aiden O'Connell last week. I gotta say, I've got a friend that's a Raiders fan that I ended up talking to him about it, that he doesn't like that they gave that play call to Aiden. But honestly, with coaching, Jimmy G's out the window. You gotta see if Aiden's got that dog in him. So I feel like that's what that play call was last week with the Raiders and Chargers. So I mean, the Raiders are not in any situation that they can beat any of the higher level teams that are gonna, even if the Raiders can pull something off and make it to the play. What I'm trying to say. Let me back up, put myself all the way forward. Didn't really plan on putting this in, but it's definitely something that should be talked about, and a lot of people that are questioning the play call on it. No, I trust that play call because you're sitting there, you're the head coach of a team that cannot compete with the higher level teams. You're in the middle of the road, and you don't necessarily want to tank and get a high draft pick, so you're going to sit there and be middle of the road. I know Dave Portnoy just made an announcement yesterday about draft picks. I understand where you're coming from, Dave, but just sell it. Hold on. I'll go ahead and say that for you. I feel for you, considering the fact that I've been a Browns fan my entire life. I know what it's like to lose. It's not an easy feeling. Those high draft picks, they definitely help soften the blow. But back to the play call for the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo was out. Aiden O'Connell got the opportunity. The coaches wanted to go ahead and see if he has that dog in him. Jimmy G's not going to be there in 3-4 years. That's going to be Aiden O'Connell's job, unless what they did is they're going to see what this kid's got in him if we need to go out and get another quarterback. As a fan, you could have just been conservative with it, but looking at it for what I think that it was, they gave Aiden O'Connell a chance. Didn't really pan out for them though. So that's my report for Monday Night Football. Again, Packers 34, Raiders 17. We got Dubes getting a couple of tutties. Better stat line. I agree with ESPN saying that Dubes will have a better stat line than Adams. Even though that Jordan Love is going to have to deal with Max Crosby. Crosby will get there a couple of times, but I feel like Jordan Love will prevail. I mean, I was wrong last week about their matchup with the Lions, so we'll see how tonight goes. On that note, thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked the video and enjoyed the content, hit that subscribe button, like the video, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Thank you guys for stopping by. Be kind and respectful to others. And most of all, be kind and respectful to yourself. You're the number one person in this world, and nobody matters more than you do. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.